What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Minecraft New in Doxus. And now for this one, I just wanted to give you guys some tips, alright? Because one of the things I think that some new players of Minecraft, as well as some veterans of Minecraft, sometimes they might have a little bit of trouble with, is exactly what to take with you when you go on a caving expedition. And so that is what this video is actually going to be about, is going on a caving expedition. What do you take with you? Now I'm going to make this in two tiers. The first tier is going to be for people that do not have a lot of materials, and they're kind of just like first starting out in the game. And then the second one is just after you have gathered a lot of materials and you're kind of rich in the game terms, and you have a lot of capacity to make very expensive things. I'm going to show you exactly what to take on your caving expedition that is going to make things as much fun and as smooth as possible. So first of all, we're going to start with the hotbar. Now the hotbar will not change regardless of whatever you have in your inventory. The hotbar is going to be exactly the same. Now the tiers of items may change, but the essentials are all going to be the same. So, for example, the sword, put that in slot 1, all right? Keep your sword out at all times because you never know when you're going to encounter mobs. Adding on to that, keep a shield with you guys, and keep a shield like this. You don't want to have to go along like that. And with torches, you could do that, or you could do like food. You could do food, you could be going along, you could be mining your stuff, and then you eat something, and then you keep mining. Don't do that, okay? That's dumb. All right, just don't do it. Use a shield. It's the most effective thing. If a creeper sneaks up behind you, oh crap, and you block and you survive. Whereas if you're wearing iron armor, even a full set of iron armor, you're gonna die from a direct explosion on a creeper, at least on normal difficulty. You might not on easy. So you guys need to keep that in mind. Just make sure you have a shield. Keep your sword equipped at all times. Next is going to be, of course, your pickaxe, all right? Now, this is going to be, going from wood when you first start out all the way to stone and then iron and diamond and enchanted diamond. Don't make gold, by the way. But your pickaxe, you're going to want to keep your pickaxe on slot 2 because it's very, very quick, all right? Because when you go caving, and most of the blocks in the game that you're going to mine, they require a pickaxe. Your pickaxe is the lifeblood of how you gather your resources. Keep your pickaxe on hand. Keep it very close to your sword at all times. Priority number 1, survive. Priority number 2, gather resources. Now, how do you gather resources? Well, it's not only through the pickaxe, it's also through the shovel. You do occasionally get gravel and dirt and stuff when you go caving. The sun is setting. You do occasionally find gravel and dirt and stuff when you go caving. You need to have a shovel with you. Next is the axe, and you actually honestly don't need to have an axe with you at all times, because it's not often that you actually find wood when you are caving, unless you find an abandoned mine shaft, or if your goal is to find a stronghold and find a library. Okay. If you are going for one of those two things, definitely keep an axe with you. And you want to gather the wood. If you don't want to gather the wood, it doesn't matter. If not, you can just keep it in your inventory, just on the rare chance that you encounter one of those two things and you decide that you want it. But if not, then you can replace it with something else, and I'll talk about that in a second. Next is torches. Guys, you gotta have torches. And here's another recommendation that I have. Because torches are so cheap, they're the cheapest light source in the entire game, and they're effective at stopping mobs from spawning. But a problem that a lot of people often have is, they go way into the cave and they place their torches kind of like this. They place them on the ground like that. When you go back, you can't tell where you're going. You can't tell, because the caves can branch off in multiple directions, right? And so if you've got your torches like this, just placing across the ground, I know this is really weird, but you've got your cave goes along like that. And then you go up here and you look this way, and both of them have torches on the ground. You don't know where to go. So how do you prevent that? Well, I've got a rule that I always use, and this applies to me regardless of whether I'm traveling in a cave in the overworld or if I'm traveling in the nether, or if I'm even traveling in the end, because I have used that same method to travel in the end effectively, and it works. And what you do is you always, when you're going forward to unexplored territory, you go and you place your torches on the right. Now, what does that mean when you're exploring an open territory like the nether? It means that you make a cobblestone pillar like that. And the reason you make cobblestone is cobblestone very rarely naturally generates. And so cobblestone is a sure sign that you can know that you've been there before. Okay? And then you put a torch. It looks like it's on the left, but you got to think of it as if you're walking and it's on a wall on your right, okay? So that is the way I always place my torches, and I think that will help a lot of people that have a lot of trouble getting back after they explore the cave and they've got all their resources and everything. Because the worst thing is like having to say, well, I can either just die and lose everything, or I can just dig a stairway up to the top. And if you're playing in an amplified world like I am, then you have no idea how close the top is. So, you know, that's something you definitely want to keep in mind. See, watch, when I walk outside, look, you see these mountains up here? If you're, look at that, look at those huge structures. If you're in the middle of that, you could be digging a stairway all the way up, and then you come down there and drop down and die. So don't. Just put your torches on the right. That's what you got to do. And then when you're going back, you look for torches on your left. See, if you go back and you see a torch on this side, you know, you see, oh, okay, I've been here before. This is my way out. Okay? Next is, of course, food. Guys, keep a lot of food with you. A lot of it. Don't go light on the food. All right? It's just not a good idea. Just go keep a stack of food with you. I know I have over a stack, but that's not intentional. It's because I cooked too much by accident. Keep a stack of food with you, whether it's don't use melon. Use something a little more nutritious than that, like potatoes or 2.5. The ideal would be like pork chops or steak, because those are 4 each. They're very nutritious and they will last you a very, very long time. I do potatoes just because they're extremely easy and low maintenance. It's just very, very easy to get. So that's what I take, but you might take something else. It's up to you. Just make sure that you have a lot of food with you. Next is going to be your building block. Guys, you need a building block. Cobblestone is my favorite because it's solid, meaning gas cannot break it. It's not flammable like wood is, and also it doesn't often naturally generate, which means if you keep cobblestone, you will be able to see, a player was there. I was there. So that is useful. I'm turning my volume down. Master White. All right. So, guys, always keep a building block. Some people use dirt. That's totally fine. Something that you have in abundance. I made another video earlier where I talked about abundance versus availability plus versus accessibility. Guys, cobblestone is in abundance for like everybody. I mean, and it's also another reason I love to take cobblestone with me is that even if you are just starting out the game, cobblestone's incredibly easy to get. So you're gonna have a ton of cobblestone regardless of whether you're new or you've been playing for a long time. And the next is a bow. Okay, you need to have a bow if you have one. If you have one, you need to take it. If you do not have one, you can replace it with another kind of building block. So it's to take a second stack of cobblestone. And going along with that, you need to have arrows. Now, usually a stack of arrows is just fine. You don't need to clog up your inventory with more than one stack of arrows. Now, if you do not want to take an axe, I mentioned if you don't want to take an axe, you can replace it with something. If you don't want to take an axe, you can do one of two things. You can take another building block like this, and then, of course, you would want to like move your stuff over like that, so you would have another building block. Or you can, if you have a bow, you can put your arrows here, and that way you always know how many arrows you have. By just very quickly, you can glance down, oh, I have 63 arrows, I'm totally fine. Or I only have 2 arrows, I need to save them. Okay? And so, and then finally is a bucket of water. Guys, this is so useful. How many times have you encountered lava and you're like, oh crap, now I gotta wear out my pinky by sneaking all around because I don't want to drop into the lava, right? You need to be able to pour this water when you encounter lava. Another good way to use water is in a very tight situation when you need to get down a very, very big hole very quickly. You can use water, and it will create sort of like a very quick way up and down that hole. With that, if you don't have any building blocks, okay, because sometimes you're out caving for a really long time and you just see and you go, oh crap, that's diamond, but I have no way to get down there, and I don't want to just sit here and just mine out a whole bunch of cobblestone. Just make a quick waterfall right there, get the diamond, come back up, get your water back, and there you go. Now we've explained the hotbar, all right, but here's where it branches off a little bit, because here, first I'm going to talk about what you need if you're just starting out in the game, you don't have a lot of supplies yet. I've actually got a shulker box that has good emergency supplies. All right, so not all of these are things that you'll need to take with you at all times, because some things you'll be ready for. These are just things that I put in here just in case I run out of some other stuff. All right, so I recommend taking a stack of iron ingots. As soon as you can afford it, keep a bunch of iron in your inventory. Why? Because when you first start out, you don't have a lot of diamonds. You've got to make all of your tools out of iron. Well, iron breaks a lot faster than diamond. Doesn't break as fast as stone, or as fast as wood or gold, obviously. But it does break much faster, and sometimes when you're clearing out a huge area, you need to be prepared to make more tools. So, keep some iron with you. Adding on to that, keep some coal with you. All right, I always kept 2 stacks. I always kept 2 stacks with me. You can keep more than that. You can keep 1 stack. It's totally fine. But I totally recommend that you keep some coal with you, because what happens when suddenly you're running low on inventory space and you want to smelt a whole bunch of your stuff? Maybe you have 9 iron ore and you want to smelt it into ingots and make an iron block. Whatever. It conserves resources if you're trying to use it as a furnace, as fuel for furnace. Or what if you run out of torches? You need to be able to make torches. And adding on to that, keep wood with you, okay? Keep a bunch of wood with you. 20 logs is fine. Even if you want to go with like a stack of logs, that's totally fine. Just keep some wood with you, because what if you don't have a crafting table? What if you got to make another tool, but you don't have the capacity to because you don't have a crafting table? Wood can barely be acquired. Like I mentioned, you can barely ever find wood underground, so you need to be prepared for that. You need to take some with you. And then also you can make sticks for torches, okay? And then depending on what materials you take with you, you could make some more arrows if you have them. So then the next couple ones are situational. If you are in the nether, then you always want to keep flint and steel with you. I always keep flint and steel in my emergency supply kit, but I also like to keep some on me as well. I have on occasion gone into the nether, and as soon as I enter, there was some weird thing where the nether portal just broke. Okay, I have done that before, and it's weird, and you have no way of getting back unless you have flint and steel. Now, in my case, I actually had to go all the way to Shem's house, and I just got some flint, and then I already had iron on me, so I just made flint and steel, and then I was able to get back that way. You may not have that option. You need to always keep flint and steel with you if you're going into the nether at all. If you're just going caving, it's not as useful. So you don't need to keep that with you at all times if you're just going caving. However, if you are going caving, you need to keep a compass. A compass, especially if you are going far away. And especially also if you need to dig your way out. If you don't place your torches on the right, or if you just don't feel like running all the way back to the surface and you just want a stairway out, you need to keep a compass, because likely where you come out on the other side will be all terrain that you do not recognize, and you need to be ready for that. So, a compass will help with that. It's also, I like to just keep a crafting table. I know I keep logs, and you can always make a crafting table on the fly, but I like to have a crafting table on me at all times. In addition, of course, you want to make sure that you have as much armor as you can. In the early game, don't bother with leather armor. Just skip right to iron armor. And then, of course, later, diamond armor when you can afford it safely. I would say prioritize the tools before you prioritize the armor. But, you know, and eventually once you make a mob farm and everything, then enchantments will be pretty trivial. So, yeah. So now I'm going to branch off and actually talk about some stuff for when you've actually gotten a lot of resources and you can afford to make some more expensive stuff. I'll talk about some extra things that you can take that will make your journey a lot easier and simpler. So first of all, you're going to want to always carry a Silk Touch pick and your Ender Chest, all right? Obviously you would have an Ender Chest back home that you can have all your valuable items in. But also, you should have one in your inventory at all times with a Silk Touch pickaxe. Here's why. If you find diamonds and you're like, oh crap, I'm in a really dangerous situation, I need to make sure that my diamonds survive this. Place down your ender chest, put your diamonds in there, and then pick your ender chest back up. If you die, even if you die in lava, you might lose a whole bunch of stuff in your inventory. You might even lose the ender chest, but you will not lose the diamonds. You will not lose whatever you put in here because it's all safe. All right? So, just keep an ender chest, guys. Now, if you have slain the ender dragon, okay, and if you have gone to the outer islands of the end, and you have actually gone to end cities and you've gotten shulker boxes and everything, I would recommend keeping 1 or 2 shulker boxes on you. In my case, I'll show you what I do. I have several shulker boxes that I keep, but 2, I'm trying to move my food chest, so just pretend this says junk box. Okay, I've got shulker boxes that have junk. What happens when you're clearing out a huge area and you've got a crap ton of cobblestone? I'm going to take this one too. You got a crap ton of cobblestone and you're like, I really want to keep going. I don't want to give up this cobblestone, but it's kind of junk to me right now. You know, I got to replenish my cobblestone supplies or whatever. Maybe you've got a lot of dirt. Maybe you've got some other kind of resource that you just have too much of. Keep a shulker box or 2 or 3 on you because those help out so much. I'm going to show you guys right now what I do. Because what I do is it's so good because you can basically store an entire inventory's worth of materials in a single inventory slot. It's so good. See, this is what I was doing. This is what I was doing to find diamonds. I would come down here, first of all, place my ender chest. If I find diamonds, I put them in here. Next, place my blue one is my loot crate. So if I find iron, gold, redstone, lapis, put it in here. And then I would have 2 junk boxes. Okay. This is for building projects. That's why it's called toolbox instead of junk box. Okay, and then as I'm collecting all this cobblestone, all this andesite, diorite, granite, I put all that stuff in here. When it fills up, I could just leave it there, and you know, then when I'm ready to go, then I get my Silk Touch pickaxe. Okay, I mine these 3. I put all of this stuff in my what is it called? The ender chest. Okay, I put all the stuff that I need to put in there. And then use my Silk Touch pickaxe, retrieve my ender chest, and now I've got all my most valuable stuff just condensed to a very small portion of my inventory. And then I can go on my merry way, and I still have a lot of inventory space left. And it's very easy to sort out, right? Then you go back home and you place down your boxes, and then you could just put everything back in your storage system. And it eliminates so much of the mess. So those are basically all my tips for going caving and exactly what you should take with you. Whether you're going on any expedition, whether you're going on, what is this? Why is there this? What is that? Why is there a line of shadows? Like, is it something up? It's that. Oh my gosh, it's that little pillar thing that's making that shadow. Anyway, so, sorry. All right, so when you're going on an expedition and anywhere, these tips are useful. If you're going to the end, keep like a stack of ender pearls with you. It will help with exploring end cities, and of course you need to at least have 2 just so you can get in and out of the dimension, the gateway thing. But and then also you also need to remember that in the end, if you can go to the outer islands, it's not quite as important to have a ton of food because you can always get chorus fruit, and it is a little crazy with the teleportation. Even though it is like that, you can at least eat it to restore your hunger. So there was one time when I was almost out of food on my way back from the end. And so I was running back, and I was running out of hunger, and I'm like, wait a second, there's chorus fruit all around here. And you just get some, and then you can eat some, and it's a little annoying when it teleports you, but you can use it. Anyways, guys, those are all the tips that I've got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and join the Discord server. Thank you so much to Shem for being my Patreon supporter. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, if you pledge $5 or more, you get access to this Minecraft server with Shem, with Dizzy, and with all the other gang. Yeah, that's amazing. Anyway, I want to thank everyone so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.